Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how to get the perfect shave. I'm going to go over everything from start to finish, so stay tuned. I promise you'll learn something new. I'm going to talk a little bit about products, a little bit about how to reduce irritation, and just do a demonstration of the whole process so there's no confusion. So let's get started. As you can see, I haven't shaved for about 3 or 4 days, and this is a really important point. If you have long hair on your face, you have to trim it before you go at it with a razor. Even this might not look like too much, but if it's more than a day, you got to use a trimmer, something like this, and take it down. So to get started, I'm just going to take it down real quick. Here we go. That was easy. I absolutely love this thing, and if you want more information on it, definitely check it out at my blog. I'll put a link to the posting below this video. But this thing's awesome. You can cut the hair on your head, or the hair on your face, or the hair on your body, or anything you want. And it's really cheap and totally reliable, so definitely check that out. Alright, so moving on, the next step in getting a great shave is having a soft beard. And this is more important than probably anything else I'm going to say today. When your beard is not soft, it's comparable to trying to cut butter that's straight out of the fridge versus trying to cut butter that's been sitting on the countertop for a few hours. It's really important when you're using a razor that your beard is nice and soft, so that way when you go to shave, it's not tugging on the beard, which leads to more irritation, which is the cause of things like ingrown hairs and razor burn. So at this point, what I would do is jump in the shower and let the warm water from the shower soften on my beard. But if you don't have that, you can always use a washcloth and just run it under some warm water and then just rest it on your face for about a minute or two. It really doesn't take that long, but this step is really important. So I'm gonna do it real quick. Not too hot because you don't want to burn yourself. So just let it air dry for a second, fold it in half, and then just rest it right on the areas that you're going to shave. Alright, so that's great. Now that we're all done with that, just throw this to the side. If you were showering beforehand, it might not be a bad idea to wash your face before you give yourself a great shave. Some people think that, washing your face helps raise the hairs away from your face. Personally, I don't find it exactly necessary, even though I do typically wash my face. Use a great water-based cleanser, like my all-time favorite by Clean and Clear, the foaming facial cleanser for sensitive skin, not the regular one. It's very important, and they're very different products. Okay, now, let's talk about products for a second, because this is super important. There's a million options at the store, and usually you might go for the cheapest one or the one that just catches your eye the best, and there is significant differences between them. Mainly, you're gonna see shave gels, something like this. And this is by a brand called Everyman Jack. I've only seen it for sale in Target, but I actually really like their line of skincare, so I do purchase them. I've tried their gel, and I've also tried their shave cream. Now, one of their biggest downfalls is the inclusion of peppermint extracts in a lot of their products, which is no good for your skin. Peppermint is not a beneficial ingredient for your skin. However, it's present in such small amounts, it doesn't make that big of a difference, so I'm not super worried about it. Now, the main difference between a gel and a cream is that this is like an aerosol, and it's kind of got a, more frothier texture, while the cream is like literally a rich lather that you put in your face. It's a lot thicker than the gel. The one reason that I personally prefer creams over the aerosol gel is because a lot of times the gels have a lot of alcohol in it. Alcohol is another thing that's very bad for your skin. It's drying, it strips away all of the good things that your skin needs, so you want to avoid it at all costs. I actually didn't realize that the shave gels, and almost all of them, have a good amount of alcohol. It probably has something to do with, the gel texture and the formulation specifically for this packaging. So if you can, find a good cream and you'll be a lot happier because these do a better job at keeping your skin moisturized. So that's what I'm going to use today. Let me just wet my face real quick before I move on to the next step because it got dry in the meantime. Okay, so how much of the product are you going to actually use? It's going to vary from person to person, but don't be skimpy with it. If you use a generous amount, your skin's really going to benefit. I usually say, about that much. Okay, so then, while my skin is still wet, I'm going to just smear around my hands and then rub it into my face. You really want to make sure you do a good job of getting the cream underneath of the hairs. Razor them away from the skin so that way the razor can take it off a lot easily. Okay, so when you're putting it on, rub it around, and then the last stroke you want to do before you rinse your hands off is just an upward stroke like this. Going up, and well, for me, it's upward. It's really whatever the direction that your hair grows in, you want to go opposite of that. My hair grows all down, but if yours grows all different directions, just try to make the last stroke you make against the grain. Okie dokie, let me rinse my hands real quick. Now, it's not a bad idea to let the cream just soak into your skin for a little bit. It's going to be another step in softening your beard before you shave, so that's perfect. Gives me a moment to talk to you about razors. You want to make sure that there's no hair or debris stuck in between the blades. You want to make sure they're not rusted, and you want to make sure that they're not bent. Okay, so it's a very important step. Always inspect your blades before you give yourself a shave. Then we're going to wet it with pretty warm water, not hot water, but you want the blades to get nice and warm because it's going to contribute to keeping your skin nice and warm as you're shaving. Okay. So, when it comes to actually shaving your face, you want to use a very, very delicate touch. And that is really important because if you're pushing too hard, you're going to be scraping your skin with the blades, which leads to irritation and cuts, nicks, things like that that can also contribute to razor burn and rashes after shaving. So if you have that problem, I recommend holding your blade like this with only 2 fingers. For me, I've been doing it for a while, so I'm very comfortable with it. But if you have that problem, you realize you're pushing too hard on your face, only hold it with your finger and your thumb and your pointer finger. And that'll help you realize that it doesn't take that much pressure to take off the hair. Start in areas that are on the outside of your face and then work your way towards the inside because the hair is the thickest, and by doing that it'll give the shave cream or shave gel a little bit longer to soften the beard. Okay, you can go over each spot more than once, but don't be excessive with it. Just 1 or 2 swipes, rinse your blade. 1 or 2 swipes, rinse your blade. Okay, so watch me, it's going to be kind of like time lapse and go really fast. Now you can't see it, but when I'm rinsing off the blade, I'm rinsing it in running water. That's another really important thing. Never ever fill the basin with warm water and then just like swoosh your blade around in it. That is just the most like awful thing I could ever think of, because sinks aren't that clean and people spit in there and they, wash their face and they wash their hands. You're filling that basin up with warm water and then sticking your blade, which needs to be clean, and rubbing it around in there, rinsing it off, and then putting it back on your face, which then makes very, very close contact with your skin. It's a great way to get a nasty infection, including staph infections, which happen in the bathroom, and also getting athlete's foot on your face. If you ever drop your razor, do not pick it up, especially in a public place, and then use it. Just get rid of it and get a new one. I've seen people that had nasty rashes on their face and they didn't really understand what it was. And turns out it was athlete's foot, that they dropped their razor, they brought it up to shave their face, and they got an infection on their face. So infections are something you definitely want to consider when shaving your face. One other thing, I'm not tapping my razor on the edge of the counter. That's a great way to bend the blades and get them out of whack, leading to a lesser quality shave. So don't bang them, just rinse them under the running water and you'll be okay. Now let's shave the center of my face. Okay, now you may have noticed as I was shaving, my technique of stretching my skin like this or like this in order to help the razor give it a more flat surface. Everyone has, different bone structure on their face. So you're gonna need to do it in different areas, but everyone's gonna need to do it down here around your Adam's apple, because if you don't stretch the skin out, you're gonna go right over and it's gonna take a big old nick out of it. So what I do is I just pull the skin to the side and do 1, 2 there, again to the side, and over there, okay? Same thing going around your chin. You can kind of go like this sometimes, like that, and that really helps me get like right underneath my chin, which can be hard sometimes. In order to make it really nice and smooth and uniform with the rest of my face. Just feeling around, I don't think I missed any spots. So now, you definitely want to rinse the shave cream or shave gel off of your face. So just 1 second, let me rinse my washcloth. Going with the grain of your hair, just wiping off all the gel. You don't want to, you got to think of what you actually do to your skin. You're cutting very close, and if you go against the grain, you could be pushing, dead skin cells, anything from the razor, pieces of hair back like into those hair follicles. So you don't want to do that. Just go with the grain of your hair when you're wiping your face off. Okay, so that's the basics. Now in terms of what to do after your shave, you can follow up with a great moisturizer. I love this one by CeraVe. It doesn't have sunscreen though, it's not great for the day. And I love this one by Clinique. It's their Age Defense Hydrator. Now, it's a little expensive, about 30 bucks, but it's a great moisturizer. It's got great ingredients, so I highly recommend giving it a try. Plus, it has SPF 15 in it, which is great for the day. This is just packed with things like niacinamide, which is vitamin B6, great for your skin. And it's just very, very moisturizing, and it's great to put on at night so your skin can heal itself, because our bodies heal ourselves over nighttime. Otherwise, I absolutely love the Paula's Choice product that I always recommend, 2% BHA. If you're prone to breakouts after you shave, or if you're prone to razor burn or irritation, swab some of that on with a cotton ball, and that will help keep your hair follicles and your pores nice and open and free of any junk that could clog them, leading to problems down the line. Now, when it comes to storing your razor, this is another important topic that I just wanted to discuss real quick, and then we'll be all done. You don't want to leave your razor sitting on your sink counter in a pile of water. That is the absolute worst thing you can do. What's going to happen, it's going to get rusty, it's going to collect bacteria, and it's just going to be no good. If you pick up that razor and give yourself a shave, you're going to have a horrible outcome and potentially get a nasty infection. So what you should do is store it in some kind of space where it can air dry either vertical or horizontal on something like this. And that's something I actually really like about Gillette, is they give you these little trays when you purchase the razor to actually store your razor in it. It gives it plenty of space to air dry. It protects the blade so you're not gonna cut yourself or cut somebody else. And you can kind of put it in your bathroom closet. It'll be fine until you're ready to shave again. So I really like this. Or you can leave your razor vertical in something similar to that. Just keep it away from the sink, away from splashing water or anything that could, damage it, or someone could reach their hand in and get cut. You don't want any of that. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you learned something new today. Thanks for watching.